Hello everybody, I am back again. My name is LUXOLO Mdolo. Ijane fundile ethanda ukubona ama subscribe Jabulile. Enze njani? Guys, in this new year, I would like to say welcome back to my YouTube channel. We are still here, we're still kicking, guys, we're still going, it's been hard. But I want to say Happy New Year, Happy 2022. And I hope that you guys have already sorted your New Year's resolutions and you're ready to get on it, guys. Keep pushing those New Year's resolutions and welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. Well, I will ask this, everyone asks this. I'm going to ask it because I know that you guys are going to do it. Guys, if you're new to this channel, please, guys, first thing, subscribe. Yeah, but you see when you enter a party, for example, and you are getting in, they'll ask you for a ticket. The ticket here is subscribing. You must subscribe, you know. Then if it's extra, hit the notification button. I even got a fresh card for you guys. I'm just gonna put it out there. Anyway, Ascolabo, guys, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. No, man, guys, and watch the video. Just be happy, man, guys. I got you something pretty epic today. Pretty epic, I promise. Okay, so today, guys, we're going to be talking about something that I always wanted to talk about. There's a lot of challenges in the previous year for me. It was a very difficult year and I just couldn't talk about this, especially towards the end of the year. I wanted to give advice to the incoming first years, because I was once in first year and I mean, get a lot of insight from different people with their different experiences. And I think now I must add my own 2 cents catching in that thing. Yeah, I must say something. I'm going to say something to you guys. I have your top 5 advice for first years incoming. And what's nice about this advice is that it's not only designed for first years, but it is made for anyone who's willing to take that advice, regardless of whether you're second year or in your final year. You can still apply this advice and it will work for you. Let's get on it, guys. Slim day. First of all, guys, one thing that is the main thing that we cannot ignore. It is that jump from high school to university. It is a jump because there is a huge gap. And I'm going to tell you all those things that are in the gap. Number one, that's in that gap is the fact that you're not living now with your parents. You're living alone. Number two, that's in that gap is that university is big. Have you seen the universities? It's big. It's not like high school, that thing where you go upstairs and it's all of it. This thing is huge. Number three, these are people you don't know. All over the country, all over the world actually sometimes. And they are here and it's the first time you're meeting them and you might not be familiar with them and you don't know them. It's that gap. And there's another gap now if, for example, you were usually close with your family, with your siblings, and now you're all alone. There's another gap. There's everything in that gap, guys. That's why we're saying it's a jump. You're jumping from one stage of life to the next. And that is a jump that we cannot ignore. And we need to talk about the realities of that jump. And I want to compare expectation versus reality. Because that is the one thing that all of us get caught up in when the expectation does not meet the reality. Because tell you what feeds into our expectations is the type of interaction we have and the type of exposure we have. For example, if you have a sibling who's been to university before, that's even better because they're able to tell us, but we must not adopt their experiences. And if we have a friend who's in university or anyone, we ask them about it, they'll tell us. Different universities have different experiences. That shapes our expectations and also the movies we watch. Other people, even though they're not going to say it, we all expected university to be something like a American Pie song. I'm not going to say. That was it, guys, that expectation is shaped by the different exposures and interactions that we've had in our lives. And now this is the reality that you're walking into, regardless of which university you're going to. But I'm going to speak now specifically about UCT because I'm there. But I don't know with about UWC, about SIPUT, about VILTS, about UFs, about STAYs. I don't know. But what I do know is that there is that gap, guys, that we need to talk about. The problem now is that since now we've identified that there is this gap, how do you then jump safely? Because you can fall into that trap, you can fall into it. You need to be able to jump that gap very safely and land very comfortably, right? And for me, I was not able to do that. I'm not gonna lie, because like I didn't have much insight into how university was supposed to be. I didn't have much knowledge, so my expectations were very, very high. Like, I'm going to this place, new people, everything. I'm going to be the best version of myself. I'm gonna push. I am gonna, everything is there. Everything, because I'm not. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. And to meet reality with that kind of expectation, first of all, getting to university and realizing that things are expensive, and I only had 500 rand in my pocket.
Jesus is Lord!
And also realizing that the conversations you have with people is not the same. When I was in high school, if you were to speak English, who are you going to speak it with? Speaking Xhosa here. Who are you going to speak it with, Chief? Yeah, but now when you get to university, the only thing, even Xhosa, hey, when you see that person, they look at you, hello bro, how's it? And you're like, hi bomfethu. Hi bomfethu. Fethu. You have that feeling about, guys, can I just causalize with you? Just for a second, I want to causalize with you. I come from a township school. A lot of things we did not have access to. Ne? So it was a very much a matter of trying to make the most with the little that you have. Because the chemicals are corner, and our computer lab had only like a few computers that were working. I was worried for our CAT students, but what can we say? Yeah, and like I remember only used our computer once, and I didn't own a laptop or anything like that. And I was used to saying, I'm going to use the textbook, I'm going to use the very little resources that I have. That's the mentality that I went to university with. I'm going to make it with the little resources that I had, and I'm going to still make it. I'm going to push through. Hey, Bongz, I'm fine. Hey, Bongz, I'm fine. I'm fine. Physics test came. Yeah, I was ambitious, I was arrayed. I was like, yes, you know what? I got my good mark for physics. Anyway, I got my good mark for physics, and I'm like, you know what? I got this. I'm shy, I'm fine. Did not even finish. I was sitting in the front row, did not even finish that thing. I asked the guy who was sitting next to me, I don't remember who he was, but he also was like, did you finish? I'm like, I didn't finish. And I even remember on the day of collecting the marks, it's not like any other place. They give you a script, and it was only out of 50. They give you a script. I remember walking with my friend, I'm mentioning you here, Ntonyam, because this is important. We're like this, walking together to go collect our script from our professor, that guy or doctor, I don't know. Then we went. Then he got his first. Remember him specifically turning and looking at me and asking me the question, Mfanagit, is this a percentage or a mark? Aye.
Jesus is Lord!
That was lit. All I'm saying is that now, guys, is that you must make it a reality that there will be a difference between an expectation and a reality.
Be that as it may, I would like to categorically state that even though your expectation may differ from the reality, if you adapt your mindset and attitude, you are bound to thrive. And this is evident because Nkosi Ngimele and I got distinctions for the very next physics test.
Accommodate yourself. Ne? Don't set your expectations too high. Do your own research before you come to the institution. What does it offer? What resources does it have? What type of people am I going to interact with? You know what I mean? So that you mentally prepare yourself that I'm going into this type of environment. Read stories, read articles about it, like things that have happened in the institution. Read about fees must fall. Read about the fires. Read about what happened to whatever faculty you're going to the dean or something, just to get a mental picture of what to expect, right? And ask people around, send people DMs. If there's a friend of yours from high school who went to university and has some light to shed, just ask so that you can better inform your expectation so that it smoothens the transition to reality. Yebo guys, the next thing that we're going to talk about is something called imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome. I wanted to define it for you guys according to hbr.org. For this definition, hbr.org. I'll put it down in the description below. So, imposter syndrome is loosely defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud. Simple. First time I got to university, that is exactly how I felt. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like, looking at the people there, I'm like, do I even belong here? Was I not selected because maybe I'm from a previously disadvantaged school? And you feel like they were probably feeling sorry for you. You don't trust the selection process of the institution. You don't feel empowered to even be there. I'm not gonna lie, it's how it is. You don't feel like you belong. It's how it is. It's true. That's why I wrote this thing. On September the 7th, 2020, I wrote this thing. 100 people liked it on Facebook. I'm gonna read it now for you. It reads as follows. The imposter syndrome of being at medical school never ends. You constantly ask yourself, do I even belong here? And you feel like all these kids are so smart. You Google their names and top student, or best school, 100% pass rate, or national awards, always pops up. And some you've even seen on TV. That's true, guys. Some of the kids I went to school with, I did see them on TV. Or the news. What was our first day in lectures? And you see the demographic sitting arrangement. Demographic, guys, you know most the English. You are sitting in compartments according to where people feel comfortable. You get most obvious, you'll feel more comfortable with the people that you can relate to more. And most of the time, it's according to race or it's according to class. So you'll get people who relate to each other more according to those two things sitting together, ne? And you get those departments, and you must sit according to your department. So let me continue. So you choose a seat accordingly, right? Once the lecture says, "Good morning, students," they all just aggressively type away on those fancy laptops, seated like they had a scope of the entire degree. You listen to the lecturer speaking and you wonder whether the problem is you and your FAL, which is First Additional English, or this lecturer is talking gibberish. I wish I could write a book about this experience. When the lecture ends, you see a line of highly determined students asking the lecturer endless questions about this movie of a lecture you just watched. I film, guys. I move. The other line of students is at the door, panicking about driving through intense afternoon traffic, and you are just left wondering, what the hell am I doing here? That time you still need to go learn how to use Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, let alone learning a study method that works for you. That is a post I wrote, guys. I think there were like 25 people who shared it, just showing how people relate to what I said that time. We all experience that imposter syndrome. Yours can be different to mine, but I'm sure the undertones of most UCT students or most university students, they feel it. They feel it, and it stings, because there's nothing as painful as doubting yourself. There's nothing as painful as being forced to doubt yourself because of the type of environment. Bruh, you sit in lectures and in classes where you have to give off your advice, right? And you give off your advice and someone asks you a contradicting question to try and disprove what you were saying. And now you must reconsider your thought because now there is this question that is coming in as well. It's sad. Ne? And now you are trying to think, but I studied this, I learned this, I know this, right? And now there must be evidence for what you're saying. Where did you get this information from? Now I must be quoting and I must be referencing. But when someone else says something, all of a sudden, talk about it's gold. It's gold. You must believe. No other questions. We have reached our conclusion of this argument. It is right. Then now you have to be in a position where you have to prove yourself. Prove that you know. Now prove that you know. So it's either in an argument you must be right multiple times, or it's either your marks must say something. What, hey man, you are intelligent. Then all of a sudden now whatever you are saying now is being questioned less because it's more likely to be right. These are the things that we face. These are the things that we face. It's really sad, and I've spoken to a lot of people who've been discouraged by this. It has affected them deeply and does destroy their ability to even believe in themselves. And believing in yourself and having confidence is the core of the degree that I'm doing, like medicine. And once you get to that position, you don't participate in class, you don't have the confidence to raise your hand, you don't even have the confidence to go ask questions afterwards. What if I'm asking a stupid question? And then the lecturer will be like, there is no such thing as a stupid question. You're like, but why does it feel like it? So you have that imposter syndrome, it's a reality, right? And it's something that you need to put your mind and expect, right? Do your research and work into how to deal with that thing when it comes. Also, what helped me personally is that I surrounded myself with people that empowered me, that challenged me to achieve more. I had a brotherhood that took care of me. I have people in my life, in my personal life, that at every single point, where even if it's a small achievement that I do, or even if I get a small answer right, they would congratulate me like nobody's business, because they know what it is doing for my confidence and it is building me. And I had people in my life that just were there to close that gap of feeling like, what am I even doing here? Who reinforced the fact that you're in matric, you're the top HDI student in the Nelson Mandela Bay Privileged Disadvantaged School, in the ICC Awards, in the Eastern Cape, and you got 7 distinctions, and you wrote that paper alone, and 5 of those distinctions were in the 90s. They kept saying those things, reiterating them in my head, and they told me you were working hard, you were part of Kutlonong, and you were the top in that year in your center. So those were the things that kept me going, because I was constantly reminded by those people that you are worthy of being here. Regardless of whether you have any achievements, the very reason you're at UCT, there is no application process that will look at your name like, sounds like a nice name, let's put him in. Remind yourself you were chosen for a reason to be here, and you need to prove it, not to them, because you've already proven it to them, the reason why they put you here, but to yourself, that I deserve to be here, that I need to be here to do what I need to do. You get me? So, imposter syndrome, guys. Then, the next thing I'm going to talk about something that we always shy away from. University will break you, and it's not automatic that it will build you up again. There's people that I know that were broken by university but never rebuilt again. It's so weird because the breaking down, it's automatic. Like the university will break you down. It's definitely for sure. It will break you down. It will strip you of things you thought you knew about yourself. It will strip away your very sense of being, your very sense of who you are. Then it is an active process that is up to you to then put pieces together to redefine who you are and find yourself and find whether you're interested in doing this degree in the first place, and answer difficult questions about yourself and move on and develop this new, stronger, more resilient person that can then cope with everything onwards. I hope I'm preaching to the congregation. You guys, give me an amen. I'm even pulling this thing so that you guys know I'm serious now. What I'm saying to you guys is that university will break you. You can never be automatically sure that it will rebuild you again. And it is upon you. It's an active process that you have to rebuild yourself again. So expect that once you start losing interest in playing soccer, once you start finding something else interesting, and once you start feeling like you're losing yourself, you don't like hanging out with the people you used to hang out with before, don't know why you don't like this degree anymore, it's because you are being stripped down to the very core of your being so that you can build in proper pieces of yourself. You're at the potter's house, you get me? So better pieces of yourself, when you collect what works, you begin to be able to say no. Because there's this other book that I read that said, if you can't say yes enthusiastically, then say no. So you begin to say no to other things that are a maybe. To help you, you begin to cut ties with other people. You walk around with scissors, guys. You cut that thing. Cut off that person is toxic in your life. Cut them off. Suicide. If that particular environment is toxic, cut it off. And people change degrees. I mean, I'm proud. The bravest thing you can do is choose yourself. People who change degrees regardless of what other people say. Because people be like, our parents, they tell us, yo fika khona abantwana abadlala university bechintsha-chintshana ne-degree, not knowing that those people are finding themselves and they're finding their niche, they're finding their essential intent, they're finding their purpose so that they can make the highest level of contribution in life. And I'm proud of those people that move from one thing because it's no longer satisfying them, so that they can find something that does, because they understand what life is really about. You don't have time to be nursing something that doesn't work for you here, guys. Move so that you find what does. And time is not determined, Uguti, how long it will take. But as long as you get on that journey and you start going at it, chop down that tree if it's no longer giving you shade. Chop it down, use it for wood, burn it, move on. Simple. As I was saying, guys, Uguti, there's that breaking down journey, then there's the rebuilding journey. Allow yourself to rebuild again. You might find a new group of friends that really care about you. Allow them to rebuild. Allow them to take away your insecurities about friendship. Allow yourself to learn, read books, do other things, find other interesting hobbies like hiking. Guys, I never thought I'd be hiking. Nanya hiker. Check out my vlog on hiking. I'm gonna put it here, somewhere here. I'm gonna put it here. I'm a hikist, guys. I'm a hikist. You do hiking, you take up other hobbies. When you do soccer, I'll put soccer here. I do soccer too. Anyway, you do other things, other interesting things. I do singing too. Anyway, you'll find other things that you like that redefine who you are. Then you just become this whole holistic person at the end. But it doesn't come easy, right? But if you make it through, guys, if you persevere through it, and you can never do it alone. University is not a solo mission. It is a team sport. Guys, we never made it alone. There are things I went through that I would have never went through if someone was not there, if someone didn't make a call, if someone didn't loan me money, if someone didn't do me a huge favor that I can never possibly repay. It's a team sport. The moment you learn that, the better it becomes. So that is that, guys. That allow yourself to rebuild, and that will happen. It can happen in first year, it can happen in your final year, anytime. Let's move on to the next. So now this one, guys, is a bit of a slippery slope, because it's a balance. Clash balance, and the net songs. Ijana is handbrake, clash balance. So one side of the coin says, make the main thing the main thing, or keep the main thing the main thing. The other side of the coin says, take care of your health. I'll explain both. Why it's a balance. It's because when we say keep the main thing, we mean that what is the priority of you being here? Why is the reason of you being here at UCT? That reason should always take priority over any decision that you make. What is the reason why you're here? It will always keep you sustained. Remember the reason why you applied in the first place. If that reason was a valid one, keep the main thing, right? There's just a book that I'm reading by, it's called Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less, by Greg McEwen. I'll put it right here. So that book literally says that basically the word priority in English was discovered long time ago. But priority for one thing was a priority. 500 years later, people made it a plural, thinking that now you can have multiple priorities. But that is not how it works, guys. The main thing must be kept the main thing. Otherwise, you're going to lose, you're going to get confused. You're going to get confused and you won't know, and you won't have the highest level of contribution that you wanted to have. And there's this thing that they say, that you end up making millimeters of progress in millions of directions, because your energy is so diffused in millions of directions because you don't have a priority. But once you collect those energies, focus on one thing, succeed. Check out that book, guys. You have now the health, as I maintain your health. According to WHO, World Health Organization, guys. Health, what is health? Health is not just the absence. It's not merely the absence of disease or infirmities, but it is the complete state of physical, emotional, social, what else do they put? Mental. I don't know what else they put. Well-being. But I think they put 4 or 5, I'm not sure. But it's like a table, guys. A table, in order for it to stand in balance and do its job of putting things on top of it and carrying things and putting food and being beautifully decorated, it has to have 4 legs that are balancing with each other, working in unison. These words, guys, I don't know, man. I don't know. My English data bundles today, they working. So, yeah, it's like a table that needs to balance, right? So it means that you need to take care of your health, even your spiritual side. I forgot spiritual. Even your spiritual side. So all these things need to balance in your life so that you become a holistic person because they take care of you. For example, if you devote all of your energy to one thing, then it means that you will feel spiritually depleted, you will feel physically depleted, you will feel emotionally depleted. You won't be able to give yourself fully now to that one thing you were saving up your energy for. You get me? So it ends up killing you anyway. Just because a table is balanced, I'm not meaning that give 50% to everything. That's why I was saying it's a slippery slope. You give certain percentages accordingly, so that you get that balance, that sweet spot. For example, other people like more of academics, a little bit of physical, maybe more of spiritual because maybe you're a believer, maybe a little bit of social because you're an introvert. Yeah, but you get your sweet spot where you're just cruising and you just feel so fulfilled. You don't have happiness, that temporary thing. You have joy, you have peace, you have inner peace because your table is balanced. Let me shut up about this one now. Move on to the next one. Last one, guys. I've been talking. I'm gonna run out. I should have carried a glass of water here. I keep looking here because this is where I keep my notes. So the last one, guys, is learning how to learn. And before I enter this one, I'd just like to remind people that if you're enjoying the video so far, guys, please hit that subscribe. Subscribe. Let us get to 1,000, guys. 1,000. This year, siyangena siyafahlanza, siyafohloloza, siyangena sithi 1,000, guys. Please subscribe, hit the notification button so that you get the first to know when amazing content like this one is being uploaded. The last one, learning how to learn. And also, just a disclaimer. Disclaimer is that even though I'm telling you about top 5, there are many more, guys. We're going to have conversations about them. Please comment what you think, any questions that you have, so that we can tackle them together. That is why I'm doing this thing, guys. We're in this together. You're not subscribing for nothing. You must also benefit. I know, once we get to 1,000, I'm benefiting. Now you must benefit. Benefit. Benefit everyone. Benefit. So learning how to learn. Learning how to learn. The problem is that you go from high school, you have your strategies that got you to university, that maybe you were a grinder for hours. No distractions, just you going. Then maybe someone else was just a lazy person. Like, I'm genuinely intelligent. I'm just going to go through. Maybe the day before, fasha, everything is done. But you succeed nonetheless. But that was maybe not the best way for yourself to learn. But you carried that way to university. One thing about university, it will expose you, mtana. It will expose you. Iza kuveza university. Iza kuchila like pages of a book. You go first, but this thing of yours is not working. And it will show you. First test, use your method. It's not working. Second test, like I'm gonna improve on this method. It's not working. The marks are doing this. Like, on a track, stack up a steep hill. I was like, I feel like you're putting in more of that style, but it's not working, and it will show. So one thing we're never taught, and it's not even a course it's not even a course, it's learning how to learn. It's basically learning yourself to understand what works for me the best. Because I'm going to tell you my advice. I'm going to be like, okay, I take notes via Word. I've learned how to type. I'm trying to type fast. I also take mind maps. I'm also doing this. Then the next thing, when you find those mind maps very, and you're like, what is going on? Maybe you like flashcards. Maybe someone else likes, just writing on a piece of paper because they write fast. Then all of a sudden they take up typing and they find it very distracting and they can't even remember what they've typed. It might not work for you. But you must not stop searching. You must look at what resources you have. You must look at what things have happened in the past. Take those quizzes on the internet that find out, are you a visual person? Are you an auditory person? Are you what type of person? Learn. The better you know yourself, the better you can decide what study method works best for you. And it's not even about study method. It's also about different things like in your life, whether you should join a sport or maybe whether you should do this. Learning how to learn basically helps you in that regard. Then when it comes to learning your schoolwork, you'll basically be better. Let me tell you an analogy. If two people decided that, or were told to chop down 2 trees. They are the same size, they are huge. Imagine that huge tree. 2 huge trees, and they were given a week. One person jumps at the tree. I know how to do this thing. With the axe, they're given an axe. I know how to do this thing. Let me go. Then the other person sits down. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna sharpen my axe. So they sharpen. Day 1, they sharpen. The other ones are going. Day 2, they sharpening. It's sharp. They're going. They like, look at it. It's not good enough yet. They're sharpening. But they know, but I'm gonna sharpen for this long. And on this day, it should take me approximately this days to chop with this amount of force to go down. They're not just sitting down hoping that they're sitting down, they're calculating, they're thinking. Thinkers, they're wise. About Solomon amancane. They go. Chop. The other one is just going at the tree, brute force. By the 5th day, the one who's going at the tree, the hands are ruptured, they're painful, filled with blisters. The axe is blunt. The tree is only halfway down. On the 5th day, 2 days left now. So the other person is only starting. They swing. Fuck. Less effort. It's just. The tree is down within 2 days. Down. Maybe even 1 day. No pain in the hands. And also minimal effort. And that is what we want to achieve. That is your sweet spot while the other person suffers. Maybe the person might chop down the tree with that brute force and they might even do good, but the damage it has caused is unexplainable. The effort it has needed, it is unexplainable. And you ask yourself, is it really worth it? So that's how you approach university. Sharpen your axe, learn how to learn. When it's time to learn, fight. Minimal effort. You get at it. Learning how to learn is the key, guys. Sharpen that axe before you chop. Before you fry the meat, you first put in the marinade, you prepare it. You don't put it with the ice, you defrost it. Everything requires that thing. Before you go to church, you pray, Mos. You pray, you read the Bible, you make sure that your heart and you feel this grant in your heart, and then you go. University is like that. Learn how to learn, then you're good to go. Yeah. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sure you guys have learned a lot and you've taken what you've taken, and I'm sure you still have questions because learning, you can never get enough of it. So if you still have questions, please post those questions in the note. Please post those questions if you still have questions, guys, in the comments. I'll do my best to. It's either if they're big questions, I'll do videos on them. If they answerable questions in the comment, then I'll just leave like those pretty like quick things. But yeah, and guys, I am starting now marking a register for people who watch the video till the end, guys. Please mark the register. Say I finished it. Just write finished. People must be surprised why people are writing finished. Just write finished in the comment section. Finished. And guys, lastly, please don't forget to subscribe, guys. And you don't pay anything. It's free, guys. No money, nothing. It don't hurt. It's like boom. It's not like boom. It's like boom. Subscribe, guys. Do that thing. Let's get to 1,000 and 100,000 and 1 million. Thank you guys so much. Please continue to enjoy your festive travel safely, guys. Please remain safe on these roads. I've been reading a lot about accidents that are happening. Pray for each other, take care of each other, guys, and enjoy the time that is left with your families. All the best to the first years that are incoming. I have much more advice, and I'm available on my socials. I'll post them there. You can post your questions there, DM me. I'm always keen to answer questions. We can have calls and whatnot. I'm always available, and thank you so much, guys. Until we meet again. From Ijana Fundile, Tanobona, subscribe Jabulile.